Summer's finally here, and we found the best accessories to keep cool, so you don't have to. And you don't need these, but you're gonna want it. So let's check it out.
If there's one must-have accessory for summer, obviously after the Super Soaker, it's a wireless speaker, because who doesn't want to be a walking house party everywhere they go? And go you will with the Muzen Wild Go portable speakers. Seriously, it's tiny, built like a tank, and fits in your front pocket with your other average size tools. Personally, I'm a fan of the retro vibes and aesthetics, unlike all the round and symmetrical ones you typically find at Best Buy. Plus, the ratcheting knobs, spring-loaded forward and back controls is pure nostalgia in a box. Although it feels like it's built in 2069, it passes our scientific drop tests. And while not completely waterproof to go swimming with, it can handle a pool splash or even getting caught in the rain, which is kind of the point, because you will most definitely take this with you wherever you go. Not only because it fits into any bag, pocket, or sleeve without weighing you down, it's one of those things you'll actually want to show off to others, because there's something really cool about holding a chunk of metal with a giant grill in front of it. Sort of like you're hanging out at the basketball court after school with your friends type of deal. Oh, and they also sell a cyber futuristic version with LEDs and yeah, a fidget spinner too, which I wouldn't blame you if you wanted this one instead. I love but also hate the summer, because if you're like me, then this is actual sweat dripping down my hand. So when TORRAS reached out and asked us to feature what is essentially a personal air conditioner around your neck, it was basically a match made in heaven for this series specifically. And right off the bat, for all the skeptics, the COOLiFY Cyber does actually get cold to the touch like a real air conditioner. Now, it is only around your neck, but it's packed with 3 cooling surfaces and 4 high-speed motors. There's no additional wires hanging around, with a surprisingly durable build, and conveniently sits around your neck, keeping my head chill even while sitting under the sun. Sure, it's not the tiniest design, but I'd consider it similar to like wearing headphones around your neck. Combine that with the flexible design, it somehow managed to even fit around my giant tube of a neck. And while most tech nowadays has an app of its own, this one lets you fine-tune the settings to your specific needs. Personally though, I just crank it to the max all day, every day for anything I'm doing, whether it's rage quitting or just road rage. This will keep me physically cool down. Although nothing will help the emotional damage, unfortunately. It's even useful inside during intense editing sessions, or even more intense toilet ones too. I can only describe the cooling feeling like if you ever touch the wall inside your fridge, it's just cold to the touch. And unlike regular fans that just blow hot air back at you, the 3 cooling plates in this actively decrease your temperature, combined with the upward and downward airflow, offering the surrounding area around the neck with a cool breeze as well. So essentially, if you're a head sweater like I am and looking for 360 degrees of relief around my neck, combined with the 6000 milliamp battery and 20 watt fast charging capabilities to go from 0 to 80% in 1 hour, giving you constant relief all day long. Links and details down below. This has been one of the most popular flashlights we've featured to date, so they upgraded it to a version 3. The Nitecore TINI is a thumb-sized all-metal design that can output a whopping 600 lumens out of this tiny little body. Finally, an average size tool that you can pull out of your pants that will actually impress her. There are several light settings with a screen to show you how much battery is left depending on the mode you leave it on, which is probably my favorite feature, so I know when to charge it. But I also think just leaving it at 1 lumens is enough 95% of the time to find my keys under the couch. And if you're wondering how small this actually is, well, it's not the AirPods case we're comparing it to, it's the AirPod itself that's similar in size. So fitting this onto your keychain just feels like carrying an extra key around or something. Especially with the solid metal build, you won't have to worry about tossing this into your pockets and still have it working when you need it to. Plus, it's water resistant too, so it's one less thing you have to worry about getting wet this summer. Seriously, you don't realize how strong 600 lumens is until you do this to yourself. A great self-defense tool to scare away the girls, and they've also included warm and cool light modes, which I don't see the need for, but I'm sure someone will troll me in the comments on why it's super useful to them.
This might be the smoothest segue to our sponsor, Incogni, because I learned from the best. Minus tech tips. Because if you've ever gotten unwanted spam emails, robocalls about winning a free trip on a cruise, or worse, had your identity stolen, it's creepy. and super annoying to deal with, plus a headache you could potentially avoid now. Thankfully, Incogni prevents all of that before it even becomes a problem to think about. I get it. Unfortunately, it's another task to add to the list of things to do in life, but they make it so easy. You just sign up, grant them permission to work on your behalf, and it does all the work auto-magically. Which you may be wondering, then why would I keep paying them a monthly fee or even an annual subscription? Because your data is constantly leaked and sold to advertisers, which can end up in the hands of scammers too. With Incogni's automated process, it continuously monitors and sends out requests to remove your data for you in the background, all while you enjoy your sugar-free cola and touching grass under the sun. Seriously, try Googling yourself and your location when you find your data on some random site. It's alarming and kind of scary to think who else has seen that. So with Incogni, they check their whole database of data brokers, essentially companies that gather your personal information and then sell it for a profit. The best part though is if you find yourself anywhere else on the interwebs, they've also released a custom removal feature. So you can input any site you find your data on and let the experts handle the request for removal on your behalf too. Plus, with a 30-day money-back guarantee, you can test and see for yourself how vulnerable your data is right now. And if you do find yourself too exposed, you can use our code AccessorizeMe and save 60% off an annual subscription. Links and details down below.
Now, if you're a head sweater like I am, but also wearing a cap is part of your identity, these Riot Division foldable caps are not only stylish, but seriously functional too, because the sun and my forehead just don't play well together, and taking my hat off every 2 blocks is just part of the routine now. So finding somewhere to put it has been one of my greatest struggles, hence why being able to fold it flat without worrying about bending or damaging the brim has been an actual lifesaver, emotionally and physically. Because if you do wear a cap, you know the feeling of watching the weather report and thinking, man, I don't need to wear one today, but I will anyways, and then living the rest of the day in complete disappointment for having to hold your hat the whole damn time to avoid those infamous sweat stains from growing on the inside. All that story time to say, this one is lightweight, durable, and has wicked metal vent holes. Plus with the all black, come on, do I even need to tell you guys that the links are down below? Speaking of black on black on black, you obviously have to get a matching fanny pack to store the rest of your blackout summer gear into, and the Evergoods Civic Access Sling offers 2 liters of storage, more than enough space to not overhoard and sweat your donkey off all day in regret. Because with the tough nylon build, durable construction all around, thick zippers, and even a Velcro patch so you can convince others your wardrobe isn't just all black, is all a bonus to the fact that the pockets are designed to be super organized, that you may actually feel that you've got your life put together for once. Plus the fact it's only 2 liters of storage, yet offers multiple sleeves, large spaces, zippers, and even mesh pockets too, in a very nonchalant design. They also use materials that sound like it's stolen from a high-tech lab or something, and the straps feel like they can handle some tug of war with your kids. However, let's get to the best part, packing. With the front quick access space, perfect for larger items and even a water bottle, and then around back to organize all your knick-knack paddywhacks, tools, toys, phones, and your daily essentials too. So for a 2-liter bag, it's definitely on the larger side, but they even lined the back with breathable padding to help with all the pit stains on your chest. The small details matter here too, like the elastic loop to keep the loose strap tidy, and personally, when you wear it the right way, makes accessing all your essentials a breeze. Now, all I have to do is pull a Zard so I can actually afford to carry more of this. If I'm gonna release a collab product, you bet I'm making sure it passes all our scientific durability tests. It's gotta be drop proof, waterproof, and can also be modular with all your favorite inserts too. That's why the Pyrovault 2.0 from Thrym is everything we love in EDC, while still being affordable, given this may be the last lighter case you'll ever need. So we had to release a blackout version of our own. Black hardware, and we even convinced them to black out the screws too. Unfortunately, the fire starter had to stay white for safety reasons. Able to fit almost any Zippo insert, it slides in smoother than you in her DMs, and still easily usable with the updated low profile latch. But if I had to admit, the auto launching latch is a fidgeter's dream. It's quieter than an actual Zippo, but just as satisfying to flick open. The dual wall design holds up in our scientific drop tests, but to really make sure it can handle your butterfingers, wha-bam. And Honestly, the battle scars go hard on this one. One of my personal favorites is the tab dock insert, which I know you want, so don't worry, it's also linked down below. Perfect to carry your favorite white snacks, or swap in the new bit tool safe if you don't care for fire. The point is, whatever style carry you prefer, this can accommodate, even if you don't actually use it for its intended purpose of survival in the wilderness, because the fire starter combined with this super slow-mo cinematic footage of our waterproof tests, you can at least count on always still being lit. Get it? Like cool and being on fire. In comparison, it's about a centimeter taller than a regular Zippo. It's grippier thanks to the grooves and angled edges, and thanks to the plastic build, you don't have to be afraid tossing this into your pocket with your other gear, as it won't scratch everything else around it. The lanyard hole gives you multiple carry options, and I get it. If you don't love the blackout everything lifestyle and want to actually see your gear, don't worry, they've also got a ton of color combinations available already. But this blackout option, I'm proud to say, is ours. Links and details down below. Don't worry, I couldn't make this list without sharing my new favorite summer backpack pick. And while the Peak Design Outdoor series was technically meant for hiking, the material, comfort, and pocketing also makes it my current favorite bag for heading to work, heading downtown, or just heading upstairs. With two giant, and I mean giant, water bottle pockets made of an elasticy, stretchy fabric. With this tie-down system, if you decide to use it with its intended purpose of holding heavier items like a tripod in place, these are the perfect all-around quick access pockets for snacks, napkins, and of course water bottles too. The real selling point for me and for all the pocket hoarders out there, additional stretchy pockets on the shoulder straps themselves. Deodorant, daily essentials, mints, band-aids, and even wet wipes too. Things you need on the fly and complain about having to take your bag off to get every time is now just a finger away. Combine that with the padding on the shoulder straps and behind the bag with air channels and lightweight fabrics that are plush but also breathable too, thanks to it being designed for the harsh outdoors, which also goes for the waterproof zippers, large string handles, and a full zipper access to everything inside, which is where you'll see the durable waterproof construction in action, using some of the lightest materials, so you visually know you're only paying for the best. The water bladder on the backside fits my 14-inch MacBook perfectly, and there's even more loops and anchors inside to hold your gear down if you need it to. So is it overkill to buy a hiking bag for everyday usage? Yeah, but does it fit everything I need, feel super comfortable, and just look wicked too? Also yes. The summertime means less clothes, which also means less pockets. So staying lightweight is key, and that goes for your tools too. Thankfully, the Gerber Gear Armbar series gives you all the tools you need on the daily in half the size of a regular tool. Literally, it's like if you cut pliers in half and you're only holding one of its handles. Perfect because you're still getting the full-fledged tools themselves, like this full-size frame lock blade that cuts through any Amazon box like butter. This version also offers a pop of orange and even a pattern clip, and if you believe me, there are 8 tools inside this mini Pez dispenser. There's a bit holder with a double-sided head, perfect to tighten those damn tripod plates, a saw, which you never know when you'll need to chisel away some wood, but all that packed into the size of what feels like a standard blade. Combined with the ginormous belt clip, when tucked into your pocket, this ain't going anywhere. And once you break this in, it is one-handed operational. Plus, they've got a full range of colors and tool combos depending on your daily needs. Last but definitely not least, because if you love being outdoors, this may be the ultimate upgrade to your comfort game. No more having to share your chair or sit on grass. Yuck. You can carry this around with the built-in shoulder straps. You simply unfold with a flick of the wrist and wha-bam. Enjoy an ice-cold beverage of your choice while others awkwardly stand around you wishing they were you. The GCI Outdoors Everywhere Chair 2 is surprisingly simple, with some metal rods, a lot of thick straps, and a pretty genius and convenient way to adjust the angle of the chair too. Everything feels sturdy, passing my scientific shake test, and looking around, the joints and connection points are reinforced with leather and additional webbing as well. Now, since you wear it like a bag, it's also got its own bag, big enough to fit a whole down bag. And while getting up from such a low chair does take some getting used to, it's fairly lightweight for how big it is, and it's made of breathable material so you don't end up with back sweat too. However, the chair is water resistant, but too much will cause it to soak through, although it does dry fairly quickly thanks to how thin it is, and it did withstand my scientific drop test too, thanks to the lack of any fancy parts having to break off. Durability aside though, there's a handle you pull that folds it all flat, and while it's not the smallest chair we've used, it's definitely the lightest lightest and one of the more comfortable ones thanks to the wide body of it. But fair warning, just remember how girthy you get when carrying it on your back.
For more tech and EDC finds, don't forget to sign up to our newsletter, Supply. Link down below. But that's it. I rest my spinning speaker fidget toy.